We are very, very excited and we're glad to be able to spend this beautiful Tuesday afternoon with you here on Hello Nigeria. My name is Aya Thompson and you're most welcome to our show today. Today is Health Tuesday and of course we will be looking at another important health topic that would definitely be of benefit to you. We'll be looking at a statement made by a very, very important woman with regards to the healthcare system in Nigeria. We want to open the phone line so that we can get you talking and we can discuss really how we can help our system grow and hopefully the government can do something to build and improve our healthcare system. In addition to that, we'll be looking at some top stories as we look at what the Tour of Tiv has said. Yes, indeed, he's asked for something to be done that would perhaps increase the rate of marriage ceremonies in his place. A definite major concern for him, and we'll be looking at that and other stories this afternoon on the show. Thank you very much once again for tuning in.
You're welcome to the show, and today, jungle justice is never the way. When there's a breakdown in law and order, people resort to self-help, and this self-help is having devastating consequences. A Lagos comedian was mistaken for a member of the dreaded Bado cult and was lynched to death, along with two other occupants of his vehicle, and the landlords of Ikorodu and residents are buying more weapons for self-defense. We'll keep you up to speed and we'll give you the details of the situation in Ikorodu during our top trending stories segment. But for now, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, the show commences in full swing. I'm Benga Aburawa. Hello, Nigeria.
Etisent Nigeria. That means hello Nigeria in Tree.
Hi, my name's Amanda Portelwa. I'm from South Africa.
My name is Mimi Akinkube.
Hello, my name is Candace Nkotgisek. I'm from Cameroon.
My name is Idori Nanang.
My name is Efwa Osei.
And the most interesting thing I found about Nigeria is the extraordinary hustling energy.
And make sure you keep watching
Hello Nigeria.
We do it all for you. We do it all for you. Oh.
Oh, and welcome back. Thank you very much for making it or keeping it a date with us here on Hello Nigeria. Benga and myself very
How
excited.
are you enjoying the rainy season,
I
our
hate-
African winter?
I do not like the
I
rainy
love it,
season.
but
I've
the only
said
thing
it.
I don't like about it, of course, it's better when the weather is cool. I mean, people will think people are less aggressive. But the bad thing about it is that it has exposed the state of Lagos roads.
And
the
Lagos
mascara
houses.
and the foundation have been removed.
Have
So
been
now we
washed off.
see the real roads.
The only thing I'm thankful for this morning is that we didn't have thunder and lightning like we did last
Oh, yeah.
night. It was a shock to my system. I haven't experienced such, in my lifetime.
9 months from now, a lot of people will be having babies.
Why? Because the weather.
Yeah, because I've done the studies and it shows that
So let's
when the weather
calculate
is...
9 months from now.
And Nigerians, a lot
August,
of...
September, October, November, December, January, February, March,
Yes.
April.
Quite a number of people. And it's one issue we have to talk about. I
What's
think we'll
the
have to
issue?
bring some officials from Nigerian Population
Census.
Council and, of course, United Nations, if we can get some. Our population is blowing out of proportion.
But they're saying
It's
that in
alarming.
2015 will be the third largest
2050.
population. 2015.
Yeah.
2050. So what do you think? Do you think that we should populate our nation? We should populate our
I
world?
think we should have a two-child policy.
We should, like China.
Yeah, like China.
Well, China has now, taken back that law because now they're seeing that they have an aging population, which is not a good sign. But something we'd like to share with you this afternoon, because something that you could have with a cup of tea when you're drinking it, or even sprinkle on your coffee if you are that way inclined, is mint. And we'll be looking at the benefits of mint. So if you like some peppermint tea whilst the rain is falling, this is why you should definitely drink some more. Wonderful. Bring, I'm sure you
Wow.
can guess which one was my favorite.
Let me see. Help to beat depression. No.
What? Are you saying I'm depressed?
No, just in case you want to be.
No. That statement
That's
you
the only
just
one
made,
that came to my
that
head.
statement you just made is liable to make me feel depressed when saying that, but no, I'm not depressed. What I like is I relieves menstrual cramps. And I think for a lot of women, it's something that is good to hear because that thing is not funny.
And morning sickness in pregnancy.
Yes.
So it's good you're taking notes.
I'm taking
now.
notes
Yeah.
very soon. By this time next
I'm
year.
also taking notes. By this time next year, I intend to be a father for the second time.
All right, wonderful.
No, not this time next year, sometime next year. Because if I say by this time next year, my mom is listening. She's going to call me after the show and say, Mbo.
Mrs. Aborowa, we're really excited for your son and congratulations in advance, Grandma. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is your favorite thing to add to spice up your beverage? You know, tea, coffee. If there's some people like cinnamon, some people put ginger.
Where do we get it from? Do we have vegetable? Is it widely available?
Yes, in Nigeria, yes. Mint leaves, very, very widely available.
Can you cook with it or change the taste?
Not really. Yeah, you shouldn't really cook with it. Usually people use it in salads, people use it in tea for their tea, people use it on their food, but they don't usually cook it. I don't think it's widely cooked, but it's widely available in Nigeria. And another a variant of that is the efirin leaves. I don't know what they call it, what's the English name?
The English name is efirin. Yeah.
That's also a good, good flavor for your food and very healthy as well. Perhaps we'll show you the health benefits of that as well.
You know, when you said efirin, it just reminded me of some young guy when I was in primary school. He came from the village, so the teacher said he should make a sentence in English. He said, "You don't they go?" And the woman said, "No, I said in English." He now said, "You don't they go?" Okay, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be time to review the top trending stories in the news. So stay with us. Hello Nigeria continues shortly. You're welcome back to Hello Nigeria. It's time for us to look at top trending stories from across the country. We would like to start with this. Yes, latest developments in Lagos. Bado caught Lagos comedian lynched as residents and landlords buy more weapons.
This is a very, very sad story. And Benga, we touched on this yesterday when we were talking about the fallout or the collateral damage, not even collateral,
the consequences.
The consequences, really, of jungle justice. And it came alive very much
It's
yesterday.
really, really sad.
A Lagos-based comedian, Chinedu Paul, known as Think Twice, was identified as one of the 3 persons mistaken for members of the Bado cult and lynched on Saturday by angry residents in Odogunyo, Ikorodu, Lagos State. This is just as residents continue to buy weapons, especially cutlasses, in a desperate move to stop the Bado members who are known for ritual killings and have killed no fewer than 26 people in the last 1 year.
It's
That's a picture of
very,
the
very
comedian
sad.
right there.
It was reported that residents who were keeping vigil had flagged down a Honda CRV with 3 occupants at about 2 a.m. on Saturday in Odogunyo area. They reportedly found in the vehicle some quantities of diesel and a big stone usually used by Bado members to smash the heads of their victims. A resident had noted that the suspect told the vigilantes that they were on their way to tow a vehicle that broke down somewhere. However, the vigilantes, who were unsatisfied with the explanation, set them ablaze together with the car. Paul, a master of ceremony, was discovered to be one of the victims of the jungle justice. A friend of the deceased, Ajibolade Oluwafemi, in a post on Facebook, said the 2 other victims were Paul's mechanics. I mean, why do you, what makes it so easy for an ordinary Nigerian to take the life of another?
Of 3 men.
Of 3 men.
3
You give them the
innocent
benefit
men.
of doubt. If you want to even, it's not acceptable under any circumstances, regardless of what happens. The law is the only, the government is the only one that has a right. And that there's the due process to that. You have your day in court. How do you come to the conclusion that they are Bado members?
Exactly,
No
because
ID
you
cards.
see, and that's when you put the matters of the law into the hands of ignorant people. to the best of their knowledge, they were protecting their people because remember we spoke about this a lot of times that the Bado cult group have terrorized Ikorodu.
For too long.
Yeah, for too long.
Without
So people
the law
are angry,
enforcement
people
doing
are
anything.
upset.
And I'm sure there are
hungry,
cases
you're
where they've arrested some members and then they bribe the police and find their way out
Exactly.
again. So that's why people have resorted to self-help. But there's a danger to this. And I hope justice will be served. Just like the Alu 4 incident.
No one has been-
There's video evidence. It's graphic. There's video evidence. There are human beings there. They can identify those who carried out this dastardly act. And there are also pictures. I hope the police, because sometimes they need orders from above before they do what they're doing, or some type of monetary reward before they do what they're constitutionally said, their constitutional responsibilities. And it's very, very, very sad and heartbreaking. You only have this sort of incidents in a failed state where there's a complete breakdown of law and order.
Distrust of the
And
law
now the
and-
Nigerian police has released a statement today saying residents of Ikorodu, and if you're listening, you should listen well, should always move around with a form of identification because they're going up with mop-up operations and they're really stepping up the security in that area. So if you're a resident of Ikorodu, I beg your pardon, make sure you have some form of identification with you at all times.
But that's for the Nigerian police, Gbenga. These vigilantes probably did not ask him for a form of identification because it was him and his mechanics who were in the car and were unfortunately killed for a crime they knew nothing about.
It's
We
very,
mustn't
very
see
sad.
this again in our own time. It's appalling that in 2017 we are seeing jungle justice thrive in a state like Lagos that is termed the center of excellence.
But it was said that sometimes last week, a member of the Badr group was apprehended and then word reached the police authorities. They tried to come and save him. They were chased away and then this guy was burnt to death.
Very unfortunate. But our hearts and our sympathies go to Paul Chinedu's family and the other two mechanics who were with him in his vehicle. Right, moving away from that story, and we have this one from the top story we teased earlier on about Tortive crying out over high bride price, say, and expensive burial ceremonies.
Well, I didn't know this high bride issue had extended to Tiv Land.
I thought it was the Igbo culture
I
that
thought it
was
was.
accused of exorbitant
And
amounts of money.
so many eligible bachelors are out there, and this is just the only thing that is holding them back. But it's a two-way thing. It's not just complain about the high bride price. It's also complain about how people lavish money on people that have already transited to the spirit world. I mean, if they're dead, you should let the dead live. Why do you spend so much exorbitant money on burial ceremonies when there are people that are alive that need that money? It reminds me of a Nollywood movie in the 1990s, Died Wretched, Buried in a 2.1 million.
Is it
naira casket.
1.4 million? But according to the reports that we have here, the Tortive, Professor James Ayatse, yesterday advised his subject against high bride price, saying that the practice was hindering young people from settling down. He gave the advice in a statement by his media assistant, Mr. Freddie Adangbe, in the capital city, Makurdi.
Do you think it's discouraging, or should we abolish the tradition of paying a bride price? Because sometimes it also has added to the incidences of domestic violence that we've
Yes,
seen.
and
I
the
say, do you know how much I
objectification
pay
of a
for
woman?
you?
Yes.
I pay 30 billion for you, so you
Yeah,
have to
can.
cook me food at any point in
And
time.
sometimes you remember the rigors of getting married to the woman, and so you punish her after marriage for all
yes.
the troubles that you went
But
through.
but then again, the significance of it is you appreciate, you value what you have.
No,
That
I don't
look,
agree with that,
She's
Gbenga.
my jewel of
I
inestimable
don't. You know why,
value.
Gbenga? Because women value their husbands and they don't have to pay husband price. So you don't need to pay a lot of
In
money.
India, the women actually do pay.
Does it make them value their husbands more than Nigerian women?
I think so.
It doesn't. We
And
value our men.
I think we should pass a
irrespective.
bill in the National Assembly to make men. You should
Women
also pay husband
Because,
price.
like you rightly mentioned, and this is open for debate, you might be out there. We will open the phone lines later to talk about health, but we might give you permission to just quickly touch on this, chip in on this. That should the bride price be abolished in Nigeria, as it objectifies women, it makes a woman seem like the man's property, and it does it fosters things like domestic violence and abuse of women by men in our part of
What
the world.
about what's your opinion on the elaborate burial ceremonies?
I think it's pointless, in my opinion. I think that, to be fair,
But
though,
others say
I'm
it's
half and half.
It's a celebration of life.
It's not about that. I think for me, if I'm looking at it as it's therapeutic for the people who are left behind, then yes. I know that going through the rites of passage or the funeral rites gives you that sort of closure for someone you're burying. So yes, in that way, you feel good that you're able to do something for the person. So usually, the person cannot feel the impact of what you're doing. The person is dead. But you, who is alive, will be able to. That's why some people say that, some people talk about the hypocrisy, because some people use it to assuage their guilt when someone they have maltreated while they're alive, they throw in all and say, oh, my father, my mother. Why don't you do the best for them while they're alive? And yes, honor their memory while they're dead, because usually the honoring of their memory is for you who is alive, not for them. They're dead. They don't know anything that's happening.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, it makes you feel good and makes you, it's therapeutic to do it. To be honest, if I'm dead, I don't mind what you do with my body. I just mind where I'm going to. So I work out my salvation with fear and trembling, so I go to heaven. So at the end of the day, I don't really.
And back to our final story. This is, the last time we heard something like this was in the United States of America, and it was involving, Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. But what makes this case very interesting is the senator happens to show not one atom, not a little drop of remorse. It says, what does my being with a girl or girls have to do with the public? A serving senator and a former governor of Yobe State and husband of the Minister of State of Foreign Affairs, who was caught in a major sex scandal involving 2 women, according to a video obtained by Sahara reporters, has said he didn't commit any wrongdoing, and the video was only made public after attempts to blackmail him failed. Abba Ibrahim, speaking to Premium Time, says, this is a personal, private matter. What does my having been with a girl have to do with the public? You know, the normal thing people ask for are reasonable things, and if you deny them, they try to blackmail you if they have a way.
My issue with this is the nonchalance with which he's handling this. It is obvious he does not understand the role and position of a public servant.
Exactly.
You saying that
he's held to higher moral standards.
You saying that it's not our business.
That's why they call him distinguished senator.
Exactly. You saying that it's not our business shows that you don't understand the office to which you have been called to, or that you're representing the people, and that the moment you agree to take that mandate, your life becomes public property to a very large extent.
I'm happy we're having this discussion. In the United States, a serving governor was forced to resign because a lewd message, SMS, he sent. He married because he's married to an assistant, leaked, and he resigned his office. That's taking responsibility. That's knowing that, look, I cannot dishonor I'm an example to millions of people. Your wife is a serving minister, you're a former governor, and then you just nonchalantly dismiss it. It's so sad.
Again, Benga, it just shows the arrogance of some of our public office holders. What would have been a great response to this would have been to humble himself and take responsibility and apologize to even if you don't want to apologize to the rest of Nigeria, you can apologize to your constituents.
Or your family, your wife.
Yes.
Just, there's nothing, and people won't kill you.
Yes.
Bill Clinton did this, and they didn't crucify him.
He didn't do as bad as this.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Look at
it's bad, but it wasn't as bad as this.
Tall Tony lost his chances of being the winner of Big Brother Nigeria. And that shows that Nigerians are still concerned about things like that because of his actions in the House. This is taking something trivial to now a very important position where you're representing a number of people.
I think the response is what is more shameless. Yeah. I don't even think it's the act. Yeah. It's the audacity to say, look, it's a private matter. It's not a private matter. Why you call the public figure?
Exactly.
So it needs to give all the perks of he needs to drop all the perks of being a public figure, the official card, his title, and everything, and then he can do anything
he likes in private. As long as we are funding your life, we have a right to find out what you're doing to a certain extent, and that is why the office of the citizen must be emphasized again and again, so that people understand in whose
I think
hands
this is a very good case for his constituents to recall him. We need to start using our constitutional powers.
All right, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell us what you think. Don't forget, when we open the phone lines, we will be talking health, but we'll give you the opportunity to also comment on one or two of the stories that we have shared during Trending Stories. And that's it for now. But right now, we'll show you a short video courtesy UNICEF that will give us a preview into what we'll be talking about when we open the phone lines. See you soon.
Gishirana village on the edge of the Sahel Desert. This is the home of Hawa Noura, one of 4 wives living under the same roof in a home where children have to grow up fast. Like many people in Nigeria, their staple diet is rice or maize meal, also known as pap, rich in carbohydrate but on its own insufficient to ensure children mature into healthy adults. And these are the consequences. Hawa's 16-month-old daughter, Mariam, has grown sick. She's among the 200,000 young Nigerian children who suffer from severe acute malnutrition, not caused by lack of food, but the wrong type of food to ensure a balanced diet.
If we had money, we could give the children fish, milk and orange. But there's no money, no resources.
So this outpatient therapeutic care programme, partly funded by UNICEF, is a lifesaver. It's a one-stop shop for some of the sickest children. For 8 weeks, they attend regular weigh-ins, receive additional health advice, medication, and are closely monitored. Mariam is a borderline case. Measuring her upper arm reveals the extent of her malnutrition, and so she's sent home with ready-to-use therapeutic foods. Yet it's an entirely preventable condition. So what causes it?
Here, the main causes, I can say, 1, mothers are not practicing exclusive breastfeeding. 2, poverty. 3, ignorance. 4, disease.
Very, very important topic right there, Gbenga, malnutrition. And I think we've spoken about this before on the show, and it's important to highlight some of the things about malnutrition that people should understand. It's not
until you have a protruding stomach
yes.
and you have kwashiorkor that
exactly.
you're suffering from malnutrition.
And you could be eating 3 times a day and still be malnourished because you're not eating the right kind of food or in the right proportion.
And it's not balanced.
Yeah, no balanced diet. But yes, I mean, looking at that, that's a UNICEF report with regards to children. And one of the things they mentioned was breastfeeding. Let's take a look at exclusive breastfeeding. It's recommended for 6 months for a child. But how many women being at today have the time to exclusively breastfeed their children for 6 months?
I mean, if they know the benefits, if they know that, look, your child is going to be very smart and the healthcare benefits, I think they will forget all the aesthetics. But some feel, oh, as a result of modernity, they're worried about their post-baby body and all of that. So they tend to neglect it. And, you know, science has made baby formulas and all of that. So they think it would act as a substitute, but nothing beats what is natural.
No, Wenger also saying there's some people who know the benefits, but work. That's what I'm saying, like the modern day woman. Some women have to work. In Nigeria...
yeah, you can store it.
In Nigeria, but then you can't have, then it might not be exclusive. In Nigeria, right, I think the stipulator is 3 months. You're speaking like a man. When there's a will, there's a way. Which mother does not want to give her child the best? Because at the end of the day, if you have to go back to work after 3 months, and that's putting in consideration if you left your job a month to delivery date, if you're not able to cope with going to work, you know, the last weeks of your pregnancy, it means that you get to only spend 2 months at home with your child. And then you have to go to work, you have to express. Now, you're still express your milk for those who have 24 hours electricity. How about those for whom NEPA take, because they have to put it in the fridge and you have to refrigerate it. So it's a bit difficult. We'll open the phone lines right now. We want to get you talking to let us know if it is possible to exclusively breastfeed your child for 6 months in today's world, or if you did it, tips on which you can manage it, particularly as a working woman. And as a woman who is busy or a woman who has other things to tend to, or even for women who are sick. Some women are ill after they have their children and unable to breastfeed their children. And also to look at malnutrition as a whole. Our children are not eating properly. Children are being overfed. That's malnutrition as well.
And also Medicare as a whole. Let's know your experiences with private and government hospitals. What kind of service delivery do you get, and what's the price difference, and are we doing enough? Because right now they said that we have about 4 doctors for every 10,000 inhabitants. That's a huge shortage, and there's a reason for this. It's because of the brain drain. People are moving to other countries for better opportunities, higher wages, and better infrastructure. So, I mean, we don't value what we have. And of course, it's led to a lot of brain drain, and we can see why our health care sector is in the state it is right now.
All right, we'll open the phone lines right now, but we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, the phone lines will be officially open so that we can get you talking about the issues we've tabled this afternoon.
Hello, Nigeria. There's no better place to be, so don't you ever change that dial. What's up, everybody? It's Kabam Zasukwa, and you're watching Hello, Nigeria.
You're welcome back to Hello Nigeria, and today is Tuesday. Today is Health Tuesday. For those of you familiar with our format here on Hello Nigeria, we're having a discussion on the benefits of breastfeeding.
Yes, we saw a very important video courtesy UNICEF, and it talked about it, and we just wanted to throw the light on that because it's something that we must continue to talk about and consider, particularly in our fast-paced world today. But moving away from that, Benga, let's look at the healthcare system in Nigeria as a whole. Now, there was a recent story that went viral of Aisha Sese. I think she's with CNN right now. Yeah. She's of Sierra Leonean background, and she was praising the Nigerian health system for coming to the aid of her mom, who was very ill.
That if it wasn't because she flew her mom to Nigeria, her mom would have passed on. So yes, she had so much praises for the Nigerian health sector, and that led to a lot of conversation.
Yes, because Nigerians don't quite see our health sector. Yes. We don't quite see our health sector that way. We see the fact that we have a lot of problems, particularly, I mean, only it was a few days back we were talking about the waiting time, how a life would have been saved.
And every other few months you have reports of doctors going on strike or nurses on one union thing and the other. There's always a struggle. And our state of the healthcare system is in a state of pisma. So I want to ask you, do you think our healthcare system is in a state of pisma? Would you like to share your experiences? Because sometimes real life experiences would just be that wake-up call for someone who is listening to take action. Unfortunately, some people have lost lives, lost relatives, lost, time because you're in hospital for no reason or for something that could have easily been sorted. If you face that kind of problem, or perhaps you want to share your good experiences, because it's not all bad stories. Look at Aisha Sese, for instance. You might want to call us right now to share your experience with us. Our phone lines are on your TV screens. Please avail yourselves of them and call us, tell us your experiences. Benga. We would also encourage you to give us practical ways in which we can improve the healthcare system in Nigeria. If you have any solutions or from your observation from dealing with them, what we can do, practical steps we can do to improve the healthcare system. Please feel free to share.
I was going to talk about just even a simple genotype test. I told you about my mom who went for a genotype test, and they told her after how many years on earth that she's SS.
She just I thought that was hilarious. No crisis, nothing. You just a good-looking adult, full-blown adult. Come on. That was the most ridiculous thing I've heard about this.
So we see simple mistakes like this. And the man at the clinic said, all his tests that day had been SS. So imagine the devastating effect he's had on people.
Breaking people's hearts.
Yes, breaking people's hearts. So these are of course, mistakes are bound to happen.
But there are reasons for this. I mean, you can't remove this. You can't divorce the health sector problem from the general problem of Nigeria. most institutions right now, we're in a state of rebirth, and I hope it is, because so many people are complaining of lack of funding, lack of this, lack of that, corruption, unionism, and all sorts of problems that are bedeviling the education system, transportation, aviation sector, everything. It's just the Nigerian factor. It's affecting them. The education system, corruption, inadequate supervision, incompetence, lack of commitment. Lack of commitment is very important.
It's another thing. Now, I mean, you wonder if Nigerian doctors swear the oath of the Hippocratic Code the same as their counterparts in other parts of the world. But something else people have spoken about is the funding for the health sector. Now, some people have criticized the amount of money allocated to the health sector, even in the Nigerian Nigerian budget. Now, they said, to be specific, that Nigeria will spend 304 billion naira on the health of over 180 million Nigerians. This is amounting to 1,688 naira per citizen.
I mean, that's
it's laughable for the whole year. And this is comparative to a prisoner, for instance, in Guantanamo Bay in the United States, who will expend at least $7 million in the same year.
Wow. I mean, shocking statistics there. Very, 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 very shocking. And also, we need to have the National Health Insurance Scheme. Nigeria healthcare professionals, they say they're amongst the best in the world and would deliver given the right atmosphere. We always say this, Nigerians always shine anywhere they go to in the world. The right atmosphere, amongst others, would include a review of the health sector institutions, adjustment of the management pattern of the hospitals, an expansion of the clinical training program of doctors to include salient management concepts and equipping for managing a multidisciplinary enterprise such as a hospital.
Now, according to the World Health Organization, now don't forget you can join our discussion. We're just letting you know a bit into what we're talking about. It's a critical condition, because if health is not guaranteed for people in a nation, what hope have the people? So, according to the World Health Organization, it says for Nigeria to be seen to prioritize healthcare, it must spend at least a minimum of 6,908 naira per Nigerian in a year, which when multiplied by 180 million people will amount to 1.2 trillion naira.
So right now we're doing about 15% of our general budget on healthcare, and from the figures you gave us, it's really, really poor. From last year estimates, and I know a lot of people will argue with this, it puts our life expectancy at 63.4 years. 2016 Nigeria Bureau of Statistics figures. Life expectancy in Nigeria was estimated at 63.4 years. I think that's grossly generous.
I was going to say it's generous, because a lot of people are dying at a younger age. You know, we don't have access to healthcare. We have young lives that are taken in their prime, not because there was not help,
but it's not all.
It was a situation that could not be salvaged, but because we didn't have a healthcare that could, you know, respond adequately to their needs.
But it's not all doom and gloom when you look at the Nigerian health sector. There's been notable achievements that we've made over the years. For example, in 2012, a new bone marrow donor program was launched in Nigeria, the second in Africa, and this program will help people find bone marrow donors who would help reduce diseases like leukemia and lymphoma. And also the NHIS has benefited, the National Health Insurance Scheme has benefited citizens by providing preventive and maternity care, as well as providing inpatient care up to 15 days per head in a standard ward. Of course, you remember the great heroic deeds of Dr. Adadevoh, effectively combating epidemic outbreaks. And in 2013, more than 79 million Nigerians between the ages of 1 to 29 were inoculated with the MENA-Afric vaccine, a meningitis vaccine, across 26 states. So, I mean, not too bad.
Well, the big question, we can sit here and say it's not too bad, but the big question we're asking people out there is that, do you think that the Nigerian healthcare system is not too bad, or are there areas of massive improvement that we think they must take on? And we're looking at both private and public health, healthcare. Some people argue that the public healthcare system is much better than the private healthcare system, while others will say, well, the private healthcare system, at least I'm paying, so they have to treat me well. Unlike
but sometimes you're paying, you're not guaranteed. Yes, and there are lots of quacks out there. or some people are just there for
Is
the
it well
business of it,
regulated?
or they look for avenues of extorting. They make you take tests that are unnecessary.
Yeah.
Just look for dubious ways of getting more
Well, then
funds.
some people argue that they'd rather do those unnecessary tests and get quality healthcare than go to the place. Okay, someone was telling me, I was speaking to a lady yesterday who has a cast on her leg. And she said, oh, that when she went to the hospital, she forgot that it was a public holiday, so they could not remove the cast because the doctors were on public holiday.
So you shouldn't.
I was like,
I mean, we work on public holidays.
Is it, when did the healthcare system not, when did it stop being an emergency
so you plan
service
for when
provider?
to be sick? Oh, I don't want to be sick.
So if you unfortunately fall sick or have an emergency on a public holiday, OYO is your case, or on your own.
It's really, really sad and shocking.
And this is a real life story. I'm not making this up. She said that they were on public holiday.
So they can't remove the cast.
Hey, I just couldn't believe it.
And talking about ways to improve the healthcare system in Nigeria, according to the World Health Organization, a well-functioning healthcare system requires a robust financing mechanism. We've talked about that. A well-trained and adequately paid workforce. You need to highlight that. Well-trained, adequately paid. Are they?
No.
That's why we see the brain drain in the health sector. Reliable information on which to base decisions and policies, and well-maintained facilities and logistics to deliver quality medicines and technologies.
All right, well, we have thrown some light to the healthcare system in Nigeria. We've shown you some pictures that don't look very good, and we are hoping that this will improve. We will continue to shine the light on the healthcare system until you and I see a marked difference in our healthcare system, because at the end of the day, we are going to be the ones to improve this. We're not going to wait for outsiders to come and help us to improve our healthcare system. We hope we'll continue this discussion. Every Tuesday, we have Health Tuesday. We throw light on information to help you with your healthcare, and also on the government sometimes, like we've done today. We're going to quick break right now. When we come back, we will be wrapping up the show today. Thank you very much for being a part of our show this afternoon. You are most welcome back. Benga, how does it feel to be ending the show this afternoon?
Fantastic. I mean,
fantastic.
Yes, very fantastic.
Are you happy to? I don't feel fantastic because I'd love to spend all day with you. Unfortunately, the show must come to an end, but we're back again tomorrow. So please don't forget, 12 noon, we're here again with Hello Nigeria. But before we go, we have some things to let you know about what happened today in history. You would know that today, the 4th of July, so we say Happy Independence
Day to
America. The United States of America gained its independence from, I wonder who, on the 4th of July?
From the British.
From the British, yes, and gaining the land from...
And I hope they also, as they are celebrating 4th of July today, they reflect and look at their foreign policy, and also look at the way they're treating black people in the country. Black people also need their independence, you know.
Thank you very much. Also, today's, in terms of famous birthdays, did you know that today is Malia Obama's birthday, the first daughter of the 44th president of the United States?
Well, I saw pictures, they were whitewater rafting in Indonesia. You know, Barack Obama grew up in Indonesia.
Yes,
some time
yeah,
in
his
Indonesia.
mom is half Asian, isn't she?
She's from Hawaii or something.
Oh, from Hawaii, okay. All right. Well, yeah, so he grew up there, and I think he went back to his roots to touch
She's
base.
quite tall.
She is.
Has she started university?
As tall as her dad, or taller.
Has she started university?
I am not sure.
I think they need
that.
to send her to University of Lagos or
Why?
Osu to get quality education, a robust education.
She's 19 years old today, so I imagine that she's about to proceed
Amazing.
to university.
Yeah, she's going to be in the spotlight for the rest of her life. Daughter of a former president.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'd also like to wish my two friends, Didi Oyenabo and Nomso Dike, a happy birthday. They're celebrating today on the 4th of July.
Happy birthday, Nonso and Didi. And happy day to every single person watching us there. You might want to continue the conversation offline after we're done. Follow Benga at Captain Sankara. Follow Olive at Oliver Modi, and follow myself at Ayathompson7 on Twitter. You might also want to follow us collectively at HNS Wazobia Max, or simply at Wazobia Max.
Okay, and we'll see you tomorrow. We have a phenomenal woman for you of Woman Wednesday. Enjoy.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.